You can clean raw data, structure tables, and still struggle to create meaningful insights if you don't design a clear analytical model that supports decisions. Without defined grain, dimensions, and facts, metrics become inconsistent and trust breaks down. Welcome to Module 3 of the Portfolio Stack Retail Supply Chain Analytics project. I'm Ali. I run a data and analytics consultancy and help organizations design analytical models that support operational and executive decision making. This project mirrors how analytics work is actually done in real organizations, moving from structured data into a data model that enables reliable reporting and decision support. In the previous module, we built a clean silver layer. We structured operational data ready for data modeling. In this module, we designed the gold layer, we defined dimensions, build fact tables for sales and inventory, and create one advanced analytics table that combines demand, stock levels, and movement flow. By the end of this module, you'll have a structured supply chain model that supports availability and replenishment analysis ready for dashboards. So starting off, I want to touch on what we are going to be doing now and once again take us back into the Lakehouse and just explain what's going on. So far we fetched data from some source systems into bronze. We've stored it there. Great. We've done a lot of different things in silver, so we have that. And now we're going to take it into gold, and that's where we prepare it for a presentation, which is going to be in a BI tool, which is Power BI, and that comes in the next module. But you can see here under silver, we have filter, clean, augmented, basically data that is being worked on. When it gets into gold, it becomes business level aggregates, where you can either add additional parts, which makes it more presentation ready, or you can aggregate it, you can sometimes combine, you can rename. There's different things you can do, and there's no clear set rules. There are some general concepts that you will see go again and again in different organizations, but it's also a little bit up for grabs and something you can shape yourself. But again, we're going to take data now from silver into gold, and we're going to take it into the presentation layer, and the presentation is going to happen in Power BI in the next module. I just want to touch on that quickly in this more basic view, and then we also have the larger view, which we also have looked at previously. And I like to refer to these drawings every once in a while. I think it's good for creating some common understanding. But you can see we have the operational data store, which is in the silver color here. That's where things happen to data. We're going to split it up into dimensions and facts, and then we're going to take it into Power BI. We're also going to create one advanced analytics table in this, and that's also going to happen in gold. And you can see when you have your dimensions, your fact or data marts, that's when the serving starts to happen. So we are preparing now to serve it further on to Power BI, which will be a reporting use case. But as I've said before, there can be other types of use cases, and you fetch data into bronze, you do stuff with it in silver, and then you make it presentation ready in gold, and that's what we're going to focus on in this module. So for our dimensions, we are mostly going to do some renaming in gold, and I'm going to try and give it a bit more report friendly name and the names, and these are the names you'll see in Power BI later when we read it in there. It's really just a creation of a gold dim table. You're reading it from your silver table, and then you're giving it a bit of a better naming, and it's a regular select statement, something as something. Nothing special happening in this dimension table. Feel free to set other names if you want to, but these are the ones that I decided to go for. In the product table, it's the same part. In some places it's pure renames. In some places I've added product in front of category or product in front of SKU, and I've done some camel casing. And again, it goes from the silver table, goes into the gold dimension table, and these are really just the only two dimensions tables that we're going to rename and work on. So this should be fairly straightforward. Again, if you want to set other names, but play around with it, and this is what we're going to do for our dimensions. And it's a simple layer, simple steps, and nothing else that's going to happen with our dimension tables in this module. For our fact tables, it's also actually going to be quite similar. I do want to point out that I will be showing you guys fact sales, fact inventory movement, and fact inventory snapshot. If you remember, we had another fact called fact forecast. In the next video, I will have it. If you want to try and pull it in, then you can try to write the entire script yourself and read from that and create a fact forecast and look at it as a challenge for you guys. But I'll show you guys these three, and again, I'll show you guys the names that I've used. But really, it's mostly renaming. Again, think about what you name it in the dimension tables so that matches well up against what you name here. You read from silver, you put it into gold, and you just rename and store it. Inventory movement is really the same thing. We rename from silver, we store into gold. We're not going to do anything crazy with this one. And I think you can see where I'm going with this one. The inventory snapshot is also nothing crazy. That is because a lot of times you don't really do too much in gold. A lot of it happens in silver, transformations, and a lot of that stuff happens there. We are just renaming now the columns for reporting purposes, and we are giving the tables more Kimball style names by using fact and dimensions. And as I mentioned, don't forget that there is one more fact table. I want you guys to look at the structure of what you saw on the screen now and see if you can create that one. And I'll see if we pull it back in the next module. I think I will. But for now, I want to jump to the advanced one and show you guys that one, because that's where, in this module, I think you'll be a little bit challenged. So here we have the gold advanced fact inventory exposure table, and we're going to spend a little bit of time on this one together, and I'll go section by section. But I've generated some comment for this one. This is going to be on a weekly level, so it's not per date, it's per week. So you can see the grain here is one row per week start date, location ID, and product SKU. And it's just because this is a different type of table, we're going to combine information from different tables and aggregate it up to weekly level and combine it, join it together. So you can see here, purpose, combine demand, sales, stock levels as in snapshots, and operational flow as in movements into one weekly table. So you can see here the first part is weekly sales and demand, and we're gonna, from the gold fact sales slide, we're gonna fetch the week, the sales date, and turn it into week start date, location ID, product SKU, some quantity, and we're gonna group by 1, 2, 3, which means the first, second, and third column. And we name it as weekly sales quantity. And this is a CTE, so we keep that one. And then we do the same for stock level, but here we use the highest amount that we have that week at the weekend. And again, we're gonna group it by 1, 2, and 3. And that is because during the week, you have different snapshots per day, and you need to choose for that week, you have to choose one day, and that's what we did here. So we have one weekly sales demand, one weekly inventory at the stock level. The last one is then weekly movements, where we are going to also make sure we always attach a movement to a location, even if one side is null. So we need to make sure that gets selected. And again, we're truncating product SKU, some quantity, group by 1, 2, 3. And all these by themselves become different CTEs, which we are then going to combine further down. So this is where things get a little bit more advanced. We're doing some group by, we're trying to isolate the first week date, and there's some sums or a max or different parts, depending on what we're trying to expose. And again, I've tried to add some comments for you guys on this one. And this script I will share on GitHub, so go check it out there. But I hope you are following and understanding what we're doing. Because at the end, what we're going to do is we're going to combine all weekly signals by a full outer join, and then we're going to combine. You can see there's some small tags here, which comes from renaming further down here. So you can see weekly sales as S, weekly inventory as I, weekly movements as M, and then we're doing a coalesce on these to get 1 week start date, 1 location ID, 1 product SKU, and then you have the sales, the weekly sales quantity, weekly end on hand quantity, and weekly net movement quantity. So this is where things get a little bit more complex. We're fetching it from weekly sales, we're joining in inventory and movement, and together we get this gold fact inventory exposure. And we'll look at how we're going to use this in the next module, but basically we're just trying to create one advanced fact table where we are looking at the demand, stock level, and also movement, and we're going to do some analysis across those. So this one I will share. I understand this one is a little more complex. I've tried to generate some comments for you guys to explain what's happening. So you're going to have to read through this one and take it a little bit nice and easy, but this is a way of doing it more, creating a more advanced table. And then when we get that into Power BI, you'll see it'll be very interesting and to see how we use this one for analysis. So we've done some renaming on the dimensions. We've done mostly renaming on the facts. There's one fact forecast that you guys should try to create based on the other facts that you saw. And then we have this one where I think you need to spend more time. Check out the script, GitHub, you'll find it there. And then we will take all of these gold tables, the dims, the facts, the advanced. We're going to pull it into Power BI in the next module, visualize it, and start to answer those business questions that we have been trying to think about and keep in the back of our heads since the beginning of this project. And it's all really come together, and we're going to have a lot of fun with this in the next module. At this point, you move from prepared data to a structured analytical model built on clear grain and dimensional design. You now have a model that consistently connects sales, inventory, and operational movement into one analytical structure. In the next module, we'll turn this analytical foundation into dashboards and insight delivery, shaping how these metrics are presented and used by decision makers.